And the main topic, I guess, that he talked about that really resonated with me was he said, and I don't know the medical terminology, but they did where they put sensors on your brain and your heart. And when you're at a high stress level, your heart and your head are the furthest apart. They come together and they do like this. Okay, now when your heart and your head are in sync together, they both go up and down and up and down. And it just makes sense. So when you're coming from gratitude, you know, your heart and your head are in sync. So it's super important that when we get out of sync, to find something to be grateful for, you know, get back in that mindset, because your field of physiology is like the big part of your state of mind. And I know that there's a lot of people that are very irritated nowadays. People you talk to are very agitated, very easy to anger, you know, and so your presence, your energy can change the way other people are feeling. And I had an example just this morning. I have one of my homes is for rent, and I had someone who wanted to see it, and I have certain policies about being approved before I show, just like we get pre-approvals before we show buyers properties. And I was very descriptive and explanatory because I thought this person's definitely not in real estate, she doesn't understand. And so I went through and I went to a long description of why I do the things I do and why I did them. And every time she came back with something really short and very ugly. And so, and I ended the email chain with, you know, well, I guess this property may not be the right one for you, and I wish you all the best in your search. Because I wasn't gonna let her negativity change me. And we can't control a lot, but we can control this. And this is what we can do to change our environment, change other people's lives, because she may not have been nice to me this morning, but I guarantee when she thought about what I did, and as she's going forward throughout her day, she's probably thinking, wow, you know, I was really a jerk to her, but she was just really super nice to me the whole time. So you're in control of you and yourself, and you can affect others that way through your energy. So I think that's an important message this time. Yeah.
What about you, Mary?
Mine was actually Mel Robbins, and it was very interesting that this family reunion had two speakers, both with the same last name. It was Mel Robbins and Tony Robbins. The other interesting thing was both of them spoke about the need to physically move. When you're not feeling good about things, when you're in a bad mood, when you're negative, when bad things are happening to you, you just need to move. So she gave us a mechanism by which to move, and it was something that she just came up with. But when you think about it, I mean, think in your own lives. Don't you feel better when you're bothered by something to just start moving, get on your feet and start walking? So she has this thing, it's called the 5-second rule. And when your negative thoughts start coming in, you know, she gave an example of getting out of bed. You can't get out of bed. Oh, I got so many problems today. Oh, I just don't know how. Your brain kicks in and starts giving you every excuse in the world about why you shouldn't be doing what you should be doing. So she has a mechanism to start. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. And she just moves. She doesn't think about it anymore. So she switches from her subconscious brain to her cerebral cortex brain. And it changes everything. So she told her story about how she was in a really bad situation, and this is how she brought herself out of that. I immediately thought about, you know, when I had problems, my mechanism for moving is I would grab a broom and get out and start sweeping. There's nothing better than yard work or sweeping to fix a problem or change your mindset when things aren't going well for you. So, but it was that 5-second rule that was a big impact on me.
5, 4,
Yeah,
3,
and you can't go up, you have to go backwards because of the way the brain works.
Don't say that out loud. Just say
No. Just, and she gave it, she said, maybe you're not being able to make calls. She said, just go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and pick up the phone.
I've actually been utilizing that since family reunion. I don't know if y'all have.
Yeah.
I love it. What about you, Sandy?
So mine was Gary Keller, because I feel like he is so smart yet so simple. I don't understand understand like numbers and the economy. Like, I guess the more you dig into it, you obviously do, but the way he explained things is so easy to understand, and then just, I loved how he explained how things, you know, it always goes in cycles, and that what's going on in the world affects the market, as a whole. And so that was really, I mean, just interesting. Even he did this at, Mega Camp, and it was just really unique to me to sit and listen and understand it a little bit more, because, I mean, I couldn't do your job. And so it's not, like, all that doesn't come easy to me, so to sit there and listen to that and to be able to take it in and just, and make it understandable, it's new to me. So, I really enjoyed listening to him.
All right, so next, what made the biggest impact on you personally?
The biggest impact on me personally was that I need to be more prepared for a family reunion. I spend an enormous amount of time looking for rooms, walking around, not knowing where to go. Apparently, and this other, and I met another agent from Texas, and you know, we kind of hung out together because we were going for the same classes. It's just, whenever you go to family reunion, it'll be at Las Vegas again this coming up 2025, and I'm super excited because now I know everything is. But I wish I would have taken some time, like gotten there maybe a day early and walked around and kind of got the lay of the land, because it's a very big place, and there's a lot of classes going on, and they don't put the signage out in front of the doors, and I guess there's a reason for that, but they don't. I wish they would. But there's so many times where you don't know, is this the right door, is this the right door?
The right section.
Right section, is this the
Are
right
we in the right
bar?
hotel?
We got there.
Where is that
hotel?
And I think that that's the biggest personal thing for me, because I wasted an enormous amount of time doing that, and I was very upset with myself, because I thought, you know, and I've been to family reunion before in Dallas, and it was the same thing, and I don't know why I didn't remember that. But the biggest piece of advice, and what I take personally, is if you're not gonna go a day early, at least to get like the layout of the floor plan of where all the rooms are, and what the letters in the rooms, the names, and then the classes you want, and do a really good job of like detailing that out before you get there. That way you know when you get up that morning, you know exactly where you're going and where you're going after that, and that way you can take more advantage. And some of the classes were really full, but you know, also always have like another one you would go to. Like have like your main one for that time slot, but then have a backup. You know, and that's what I would say, that would be my biggest personal gain I got from going this year, is I'm not doing what I did this year next year. Yeah.
What about you, Mary?
I think the biggest impact is just going. When and everything that you experience and you hear, what is it about going out of town that changes your mindset, right? When you go out of town for a weekend, don't you just kind of get rejuvenated and start feeling better? Well, guess what? You get to go out of town, get that rejuvenation, and then get in front of some of the smartest people in the industry. And people who are doing things at a different level and can show you what the possibilities are. Then you have all the people that have systems in place that you hadn't even thought about. And then meeting people. And then there's just a little bit of the having fun too, on top of it. Just a little bit really. But, yeah.
She knew what she was gonna do when she got there. She
But
planned it.
I have gone to family reunion and mega camp every year except for 2 years since I joined Keller Williams in 2009. I can tell you it makes a huge impact on your business and on you personally. I mean, I can remember speakers that we had. Can I go a little bit on it? There was one that when we were in Phoenix, it was the Tooley family. Anybody know who the Tooley family is? Michael Orr, right? They were there and spoke. And one of the things that she spoke about, the whole the mother, the father, and the daughter was there. And she was speaking about when you come across a person who is down on their luck, she says, don't judge. She says, it's between you and God what you do to help that person, what you give to them. She says, give unconditionally. it is between them and God what they do with it. So if you're judging, well, they're just gonna go buy liquor with this, or, you know, they're gonna do this or that, she says, and that made a huge impact on me a long time ago, and it sits with me today. So what I'm saying is, go do the experience. You know, you never know what part of your life it's gonna change.
What about you, Sandy?
Ooh, so it was really overwhelming. And I have to agree with Ashley, like, I think, we did go early, but we did not, even Shane was like, have you downloaded that? Have you done this? Have you done that? And I was like, girl, I'm just gonna show up and I'm just gonna go to whatever class I feel like, you know? They will get full insanely fast, like, it was just really overwhelming. There was almost like 2 sections, and so, sometimes I felt like I didn't get much, and so until Shane, we were kind of talking over, he sent me some stuff, like that we, you know, either wrote down or screenshotted and stuff like that. But one of the things, in one of the panels of one of the classes, I don't even know which class it was in, but, was, you know, we go off and like you said, we get recharged and excited to come home and all this stuff, but one of the things that I took home was our sphere, our sphere, our sphere. Even these top agents, they love on their people. We all have our own sphere. Love on them. Touch them. Getting here on Mondays and do, you know. So I mean, that was one of the big like impacts to me, was even though we go off and do big things like that, it still brings it back to like the simplest things that we know to do in our business.
Well, it's like Tony Robbins said, if you don't mind if I
No, no.
tag onto that. What if you fell in love with your customers in real estate? You would do anything for someone you were in love with. That's huge, and that's the way these top producing agents are. They love their people. They love on them regularly, and they do a really good job.
Systematically.
Yes,
Right.
systematically. Yes.
Alright. What is the one thing you took away to implement into your business?
I guess what I talked about earlier would be the biggest thing, is just knowing that even when I work with a difficult agent or a difficult customer, that I can't control them, but I can control me. And if I don't add to the stress and the frustration, if I'm a calming force and I get my heart and my head sync together and have gratitude, you know, that I'm going to handle the situation in the best way possible. And whether or not the other person receives it is not my responsibility. It's my responsibility to deliver it. And that's all I have control over. So just being very mindful of what I can and can't control.
What about you?
Mine was, I went to a session, I had a goal on this family reunion, which I try to do before I go to, what am I looking for? What am I gonna concentrate on? And so I had decided listing presentations was what I was gonna concentrate on. And I went to hear Jeff Glover, who is amazing, and got a lot out of that. But I also went to hear Phil Jones, and he's actually written several books on conversations and what to say. And he said the worst time to think about what you're gonna say is when you're saying it. So getting back to the basics of real estate, which is scripting and practicing what you say. And so by doing that, when you say it, it's taken well because you come from kind of authority, because you're not tripping through it. He said to get to trust, which we need with our customers for them to choose us to do business with us, that we have to go through curiosity and empathy. And that curiosity is the fuel for the great conversations. So I've taken in a lot of the things he said. I'm rewriting my listing agreement and my listing presentation. About that time, all this with the lawsuit hit, so I'm incorporating that new part that's gonna go into my listing presentation. I have to have it ready by Thursday because I have an accountability coach called the MAPS coach. And so I'll be practicing that and moving forward. And I just feel like, you know, it will help me be confident and help me bring in more business.
Add value. What's
Add
that?
value, yeah, exactly what we need to work on, explaining our value.
What about you, Sandy?
Mine was, one of the things that I just kind of sunk in with us was, good times create weak people. Weak people create bad times. Bad times create strong people. And then strong people create great times. So when you kind of think of that cycle and like what's going on around you and in our world, like if bad times create strong people, then, you know, the more strength we get, we're gonna create a good lifestyle, you know, we're able to serve others better, things like that. So even in the bad times, we're gonna come out good.
Stick with it.
Right. What else would you like to share with the others?
I would like to share that if you are truly wanting to be a real estate professional and you wanna grow your business and you wanna live a lifestyle above anything you've ever dreamed to do, you wanna accomplish things you've never accomplished before, maybe things your family's never accomplished before, dial into these things that Keller Williams provides. It has changed my life. That's why I'm not going anywhere else ever. I take advantage every time Gene Rivers comes to town, go to his classes, try your best to make it to family reunion. I have to go into mega camp in August, so I haven't had a chance to do that yet. I'm doing that. But just dial into everything that we've got going here, you know, because you have it all right here. We have so much more, you know, than any other brokerage. And Shayna just keeps pouring into us and all the leadership and, you know, and it's a huge goal of theirs for us to be successful. So just dial in, it's all here. I mean, you don't have to go anywhere else, you know, so just really dial in, and if you need help, you got Shayna, you've got ALC, you've got other mega agents within our organization. We didn't know what we were doing when we got started either. We had to call and ask, how do I do this? Where do I go? How can I be successful? And any of us would be more than happy to pour into you because someone poured into us, or we would not be producing. So just remember that. No question is silly, no question is stupid. We probably ask our fair share of the same ones over and over again.
And still do.
And still do. So just don't be afraid to raise your hand and speak up, because you have all the help you need. We're not gonna know you have a need unless you do. So just let us know how we can help.
And I love that you said that too, especially after Kaylee shared about her staying behind at the ALC meeting. I mean, I have agents say to me, well, I wanna know what the top agents are doing. Okay, well then come to the ALC meeting, that's exactly what we're talking about. You know, and that's why, you know, you'll see people will stay behind, but if you don't come and you don't listen, or you don't be there at the women investing when somebody is smart, these girls standing up, you know, that's how you get poured into. So I love you share that. What about you, Mary?
The other thing about going to family reunion, like I said, you hear so much. I mean, we can't sit here and tell you everything that we were exposed to. But I bring back conversations that I can have with my database, with my sphere, with people that I'm loving on. And it's coming from contribution, it's coming from my heart. And so what I heard Gary Keller say was the millennials are behind in making their purchase of a home. They, as he said it, they are sitting in their parents' basement playing video games. And what that's gonna do to our society in time, you buy your new home when you're young, you build up equity so that when you get to retirement, you have all that value. You have built wealth over time, and it takes time to do it for the appreciation, for paying off the mortgage. So right now we are seeing a lot of people paying cash for homes. Why is that? Because they have built equity in their home over time. They've decided to retire. They're wanting to come to Florida, get out of the snow, and they're able to pay cash for the homes down here. The millennials are not gonna have that. They're going to get to retirement age, and they're not going to have their mortgage paid off, and they're not gonna have the wealth behind them. This is a message we need to give to our sphere and give to the people that we're loving on. They may be parents, or they may be these kids that are holding back. Why are these kids holding back besides, conversations, asking questions? Are you scared? Are you hearing so much about interest rates that they're scaring you out of making, in the graph, and I wish I had it with me, I got out of school, I was an 80s young adult, in the 1980s. Interest rates were, and I said 17, but he showed on the graph, 16.62. But we made our first home purchase then. Well, I mean, look at me now, I'm much older than that, and I've got my mortgages paid off, my wealth has been built through real estate. I'm having these conversations now with my sphere when I'm meeting with them or talking with them. And there's where questions come in, curiosity. I'm just curious. Just make that statement and go into the question. And you're coming from the heart, and then start, talking to them about building wealth over time and what it's gonna mean to them when they get older.
What do you say to somebody when they're in your
Well, I have to
position?
ask them first, what's going on in their lives that they're not doing it, and then we talk about it. And I explain to them that, interest rates change over time, I talk about the economy, but the biggest thing I talk about is appreciation over time. And how, for most Americans, their home is the biggest asset they have.
And the prices aren't coming down, not like people wish they would.
No, I'm not our area, there aren't any.
I talk about fear and how what we hear, breeds fear. Please come to me, let's talk about it, let's talk about it now. But what we do know is this is going on, and we wanna help you.
So much more to having the conversations with your database than just writing by yourself, right? You're building relationships with people.
Those will be your clients for life, because you know that you're looking out for their best interest.
Sheena, can I say something real quick? Because it kind of piggybacks off what Mary's saying. If you guys want to know kind of how to do that, my military class, that's exactly what it's going to be on.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah, it's exactly going to be on that.
Yeah.
Of these young buyers, and it's going to be geared more towards military buyers, but it's the same thing. So yeah, that's what my class is actually going to be on.
And I have been having conversations about, there's a retirement plan. You buy a home every year for 20 years. And you work on paying it off. Instead of spending the income, you work on paying them off. So that in 20, 30 years, you've got either retirement income or a nest egg to put your child through college. So you can choose at that time to either sell that asset, or you can refinance it and use that lump sum of money to put your child in college. Wouldn't it be wonderful if you could put your child through college and they not have any student loan debt when they come out? Yeah, so that's another conversation for your database.
And to piggyback off of that, so we went to an investors class, and in it, I've heard this before, I'm sure the majority of us heard this, but it didn't sink in until while we were sitting in there. 40% of Americans have their house paid off in full. So that's 4 out of 10 people essentially that you know. And so I was sitting there, I was like, 4 out of 10 people that I know own their house. And I thought it was just crazy to me. So I even went on Facebook, and I wish I wrote down my questions. If y'all want to know, get with me afterwards.
Or go on your Facebook account.
Yeah, well, I didn't do the questions. I told them to message me. So I literally went on there and I made a post. I was like, who do I know that owns your house free and clear? I have a couple of questions for you. And so I said, shoot me a message. So when they shot me the message, I know kind of off the top of my head, I basically asked, like, when did you buy your home and how long did it take you to pay off your home? That was kind of essentially my first question. The second one was, what do you think your home's worth? If they had no clue, guess what? I don't give a shit where you live. I'll help you figure out what your home's worth. And then my last one was, don't share this on Facebook. And then the third one was, has a real estate professional ever talked to you about using the equity in your home to reinvest? And I had about 12, I need to count to be exact, because I really wanted to do this before today, but that's the move. Okay, so I had 10 or 12 message me, and 3 or 4 of those have reinvested, and the rest of them had never been talked to about reinvesting. And if y'all think about it, how many of us have literally been taught all of our life to sit here and pay off our house and just be debt? That's it. Like, just work and pay off your house and that's it. But never to keep on. Why? Why would you not build that retirement? You know, and then like one time I did make this this post, and it reminded me of it when you said this. Buy an investment property when you have a kid, when you have that baby, because by the time that they do get to college, then all that equity has been built. Put somebody in it as a renter. Let them be paying that mortgage this whole time. Then by the time that they get to college age, you have that. So these are questions, things that came, like I've heard that 40% before and it never hit me. But being in this and hearing that panel of people talk, I was just like, wow, just in our own sphere again, how much business do we have?
Hey, do you care if I share with them what we had talked about?
I guess not, because I don't know what you're going about.
So we were talking after this too, and Sandy was like, I'm gonna reach out to these people, these many people, reach out to me on Facebook, my database, this, and I go, you know what do we teach agents too? And that's to have seminars. And I said, what if you use the tools in your tool belt and you say, come to the training room, this is for you guys, I'm gonna be there, or the conference room, and educate the public. And one that's a client event, and again, free, and have them there and educate them. Just like we're gonna have to educate people on what commissions are, we have to be the ones to speak up and share and teach people. And I said, what a great chance to get in front of more people and do exactly that, because you're adding value and building relationships for lifelong customers.
So yeah, we did the same thing off of that. So we have got that in the works. So we were doing a touch to I have my top 50, and it's basically the people who've bought and sold with me over the last couple of years. And I was gonna send them something, and Chris was like, no, let's not send them that. Let's send this to these people, and then in that event, let's be another touch for your top 50. And so I recorded a video that she's gonna send out for my command, and I'm like, listen up for this, because in April, the end of April, we're gonna plan. And Shayna said, this room is free, I'll use it. So.
Yeah, you really tap into the women in investing thing we do, because it's been amazing to me to listen to everyone else's journey, because we all have a little bit of different way of how we got there, and everybody can do it. And even if you're not quite ready to do it just yet, but you've got customers that might be ready to do it, you can get a lot of information. It's not rocket science. Now, the short-term rentals I don't do, but long-term rentals is so easy. And there's so many of us that are doing it, that are willing to share everything we do to help you guys do the same thing. So, if you're not ready yet, but you're working towards that, you might get some tips and tricks to get there faster for yourself, and then also to help your customers. So it definitely is a thing.
Yeah, and invite your customers to that. I literally invited 2 this last time, and both of them were like, oh my God, that like literally got me on fire to want to do this. So, I'm not saying invite everybody to want to invest in this next month, because that'll be crazy, but like just invite somebody with you.
And I'm working on a big one for April, so we don't have one this month, just because we had a lot on our books already, but we'll have something special coming up next month too. But I know Mary, what are you gonna say?
No, I was just gonna say, I've got one of those transactions right now, they're doing a refi on their house, buying a condo at the beach. So that kind of gets you out of some of those issues that you have with lending on condos.
Because then they're gonna pay that, are they gonna
Say,
pay cash?
okay, well, have you thought about,
Refinancing your cash out. Yeah.
So do y'all have any questions for them? No? Good. Well,